everyone, it's Sylvia here from Casino Library and welcome to Tangles on Tuesday. In this series, we're going to take you through the process of creating beautiful art pieces known as Tangle.
In week 1, I introduced you to Holly Bar and Crescent Moon. And then last week, I introduced you to Knightsbridge, and this is a variation of that. And I introduced you to Tipple. So following on from the Tipple that we learnt last week, I'd like to introduce you to Jetties. So let's get started. So starting with our practice sheet and our 0.1 tip pen, I'll show you how to do jetties. So we simply draw a series of circles, varying them in size, and you don't want to do them too small, otherwise doing your tangle inside of them won't be quite as effective. So I'm just going to do some random circles there. Throw in a couple of smaller ones. Okay, so then what we do, we'll start here, is we're going to draw what looks like a bar through the middle. I'm going to take my 0.4 marker because it's got a bit thicker tip and it will make the shading easier, because then we're going to shade inside those two lines that we've just drawn. And then I'm going to come back with my 0.1 pen and I'm going to do an aura, which is a line that mimics, much like we do in our crescent moon, either side of the area that we've just shaded. Now these bars can be drawn in all different directions, so I'm going to make sure that I keep turning my practice sheet, coming back to my 0.4, so my thicker pen tip and shading, and then coming back with my 0.1 and just doing that aura either side. So that's quite a simple tangle, and it actually looks really good drawn up against Tipple, because Tipple tends to be a little smaller, whereas jetties tend to be a little bigger, and they just tend to work really well. So you can see here each of my jetty circles, each one has the band through the middle that we've coloured in with our 0.4 pen, and then coming back to our 0.1 and doing that fine line either side of our solid band. So changing up the size of your circles and the number of circles that you draw will give you a different finish. And then this is your tangle that you do inside each circle. So here I've just done a couple of jetties, a couple of larger ones. I'm just wanting to show you the difference where these ones here, I tended to do my band straight. This band or tangle that we've done inside the circle has a bit more of a curve to it. So again, there's no right or wrong, just doing what you're comfortable with. And the difference between mixing the sizes of my circles and keeping them uniform and doing more of a curved band as opposed to the straight one we did here. So that's your jetties tangle. The next tangle I'd like to show you is called Cadence. Now this is a really easy tangle to do once you get the hang of it. And to start, we're going to form a grid doing small circles, and we're going to go across our practice tile, spacing them out as evenly as we can. Now the final look again will depend on how many circles you choose to have in your grid and also the spacing of them. So I've got some there just to get us started. So hopefully you can see that there. So I've done my grid, hopefully evenly spaced or near enough. And then what we're going to do is we do the letter S shape in between each of these circles to join them up. So I'll go ahead and show you that. You want to start the top of the circle and just do a gentle S shape like I have there. So coming from the top, your gentle S and bringing that curve back in to follow the base of that circle there. So our next one will start at the top of this circle and come in under this one, and again starting at the top and coming in under this one. So we're going to do that all the way along, following that same technique. So I'll just do a few so that you can see what that will look like. So starting at the top of your circle, coming around and finishing off, tucking in the bottom of your S with the bottom of the circle. Starting it at the top, coming around, tucking it in with the bottom, and one more to finish off our row. So that's my first row completed. So what I'll do now is I'll do this next row same way. I'm going to start at the top, do my S and tuck it in under the bottom of that circle. So I'll just do that to show you again. Coming down and around and tucking it in under, starting at the top, coming around and tucking it in under the bottom. Just taking your time. Remember, you don't need to hold your pen firmly, just work lightly with your pen. You don't need to press hard, you don't need to grip it hard, and just keep your breathing. Right. So I've done the 2 rows there to show you how that will start. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my piece of card and I'm going to repeat that process, working my way along the rows, top and the bottom. So I'm going to start doing an S, starting at the top, curving it around and tucking it up into this one, following that same, starting at the top, bringing it around and tucking it in under. Again, it's the S shape. So starting at the top of each one, coming around, so it's almost like, it looks like beach waves. So if I turn it the right way up, so I did my S, the letter S, curving it around this way, working my way along, and then turning my card, and again working it around the top and tucking it in under, starting at the top, tucking it in under, starting at the top, tucking it under, and just repeating. And I'll do the same here. So I'll be starting at the top, my letter S, tucking it in under, starting at the top and tucking it under. So there we have our first row. So while it may look complicated, it really is just a matter of doing up your grid with your small circles and then joining our dots with the letter S. Actually, I'll pop in and join these ones up too. Each dot, or each of our circles is joined up by an S on them moving down, and then they're each joined the letter S moving across, and by turning your cardstock will make sure that you've got that curve or that S shape going the right way each time. What I like to do, you can leave these circles as they are, but I like to actually shade them a little. So taking my 0.4 pen I do like to just shade them because it gives it a totally different look and it adds a bit of dimension, a bit of depth, a bit more of a 3D feel to it. Just taking your time to shade each of those in solid. So you don't have to, you can leave them blank if you wish. I'll just do a couple of rows just to show you the difference. And again, it's a matter of personal choice, personal preference as to what you like. But I quite like the effect. So the other thing I'd like to show you in finishing off your cadent is remembering to bring it right to the edge of your tile. So when you're doing these S shapes here, just doing that part one that takes you to the edge of your tile. And again here, my S shapes have worked across the top and just making sure that I link it up to the edge there and across the top here as well. Now the cadent tangle, like some of the others that we've already learnt along the way, lends itself to so many possibilities as far as how we can embellish or take that even further. But for now, I'd just like you to practice getting that basic formation, and next week we'll pop back and I'll show you some other ways that you can embellish that or take it up to the next level. So at the end of last week's session, I left you with a tile on which I had drawn a string and suggested that in this smaller space here, you practice your tipple. I then suggested that you might like to finish off the remaining 3 spaces using the other tangles that we've learnt so far. So our holly bar, our crescent moon and our knight's bridge. And I'd really love to see what you've come up with. This is my finished tile. So I did my tipple in the small space as I suggested to you. And then I decided to add in my crescent moon, my knight's bridge, and my holly bar. Now what I'd like to show you here with the holly bar is I did shade some of those spaces between the lines, but I also wanted to show you how I chose to continue my tipple and I used it to fill in some of the other spaces within the tangle. So we're starting to build on our tangles and to see how we can use them in other ways. So that's what I came up with, and I'd love to see yours, so feel free to add them in the comments below. I have here a tile with my border that I've drawn in and my string already in place. So this string here that's looping through my tile, which gives us 6 spaces to be working a tangle in. So 6 different tangles we're going to work into our tile. Now I'm going to start and do my cadent in this section here. And from there, I'd like you to practice the other tangles that we've been learning. So your jetties, your tipple, your knight's bridge, your crescent moon and holly bar. You get to choose which space you'd like to do each of those. So that'll be a good practice for you until we meet again next week. And remember, I love to see your creations, so feel free to upload them in the comments below and share your creativity with us.
In the comments below, you'll find a link to the practice sheet that I've been using here today. If you're unable to access these from your computer at home, we'll make some packs available. All you have to do is give us a call on 666 00 250 and give us a day or two to get those ready for you. That pack will also include some pre-cut 3.5 by 3.5 inch tiles to get you started. If you'd like to do some more reading on Zentangle, there is a great selection of books available at the library, and we also have a Hobbies and Crafts Reference Centre, which is a part of our e-resources that are available on our library website. And remember, if you'd like to receive instant updates when new content is added to our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. Thanks for joining us here today, and we'll see you next week for another Tangles on Tuesday.